Hello, everybody. Welcome to the channel. Sunday, a live chat with Andy and Gabby Cabby. How is everybody? I hope you're all well. I see there's a nice number of you in the chat already. Good to see you. Make sure, thumbs up. You may notice a little difference. I'm a little bit clearer. You can see more pimples. The writing behind is clearer. I've had a bit of a camera upgrade and a bit of a mess around and changing some things. I wanted to make it look better. There's going to be some more changes coming in the week as well, and I'll introduce them as we go. Nothing mind-shattering, nothing, overly, bing bang splat. Just some bits and pieces that need dealing with. Dave Bryan, like your new intro. Thank you very much. Somebody was kind enough to do those for me. Took what I had already and was just a revamp of what I had before, and I really like them too. The intro was a little bit loud, but the guy did actually turn it down for me. Yeah, what I've got a new camera which came a day or two ago, and the definition is really pretty cool actually. And I've got some other things which will be going on in the background, which I'll tell you all about. Let's have a quick shifty down here and say some hellos to people. Michael Hancock, hello. Laura, hello. Gary Thornbury, hello to you. Richard Riley, good to see you. Anna Perkins, good to see you as well. Anthony P, Jody, Sylvia Spackman. Yeah, it's all the regulars. Everdream Team. Evergreen Tim. I love that name. And good to see you. Glad you're here and okay. Julie Baldwin, thank you very much. Hello, good to see you. Jason Hughes, Pete. Is it Pete Nikolic? Hello to you. Ryan Yard, good morning. Hope you're well, sir. Good to see you. Yeah, Ryan's starting to upload some more stuff on his channel now, where he's had a rebrand and just concentrating on his music alone. Go and have a look. I'm not putting a Christmas tree up just yet. Let me show you something very quickly. I'll give you a sneak preview. Someone like the intro. I've got to turn this down as well, but this is what's going to come out at Christmas. There you go. I'll start that in December. Me with a Santa hat on, which will be a great thing because I can't usually find Santa's hat. No, I don't use OBS, Pete. I never have done. I know about it, but it's not a thing I use. I use StreamYard a lot for my stuff now, and when I'm out and about, I use KineMaster on the mobile phone to record stuff when I'm out. But usually it's a combination of YouTube shorts and what I do in here. It's pretty cool. Yeah, we got loads and loads and loads of people in the chat. That's great, and all the regulars too, and I always appreciate that, all the support and all the people coming back. Just to let you know, content will be out tomorrow from 8 o'clock. I already recorded that. I did that yesterday. I've been out on the road all day today and I am knackered, but I'm going to come and see you people, that's for sure. Now, the first thing I want to cover is Noel Wilcox. I want to tell you a little bit about what's going on next weekend and a little bit about where we are right now. Now, if I find the thumbnail for this, I did upload it. My laptop had a bit of a hissy fit before I came out, but this is what's going on next weekend. I will be talking lunchtime on the 5th of November to Noel Wilcox, who is the scaffolder that's taking on TFL, and he's the guy behind the fundraiser that I've been making all the fuss about, and I'll tell you how that's going at the moment. We're going to be talking ULEZ. We're going to be talking the court case that's coming up. It's not strictly true everything they're saying in the media. They're sticking to a certain narrative. There's certain things that I know about, which I can't really go into without the man himself, and he'll let you know. But there's other things that we can talk about there. And if you've got any questions that you'd like to put to Noel, either email them to me, contact@andygifford.online, or just leave a comment in the live and I can collate them all and we can put that to him. Like I did with Howard Cox before, it'll just be a chat. And, We'll see how we get on and interact with everybody. And I recognise that lunchtime, it won't necessarily be a good fit for everybody. So I was just talking to Bloodnose in the background before I came on live and said, what I'll do when that live is over, I will re-upload it and I'll do another live scheduled for 9 o'clock. So effectively, there's a live and then there's an omnibus edition, which will come out at 9. So you get 2 bites of the cherry and you can see it no matter where you come up. So it's all good, all good. This is the Sun's story on Noel Wilcox. Thanks, Blood, for putting that up. Yeah, there's a very good article in the Epoch Times as well that's going to come up, and there's a video that comes out tomorrow where I tell you about that. Hi, Rafi. Good to see you in the chat there. Thank you for joining us. Hope you're well. That's my man in the background who helps me with running things smoothly as well. Now, talking of the fundraiser, I'll let you know where we are at the moment. There we go. I'm going to refresh this page. There we go. So far, we have raised £8,999. Now, the ultimate target is 100 grand because this is a very expensive undertaking and it has to be done correctly. No two ways about it. And that 100 grand involves media, legal fees, the case itself, making sure everything's done correctly. There's an awful lot to it. Now, the initial figure that he needs to get the ball rolling is about 2.5. So that's more than been made, very much so. And there will be some more news coming about that in the pipeline very, very shortly. I'm assured by Noel that this week I will hopefully be able to tell you a fair bit more about it. The GoFundMe link is in there. Bloodnose has put it on there. If anybody can do anything, even if it's a couple of bob, every little bit helps. And if you can't, just share it. Share it on your social medias. Share it with your friends. Share it everywhere you can, and try and get as much traction and as much support to this as possible. Noel should join the Reclaim Party. Yeah, this is the whole us against them thing, isn't it? It's very much, you've got the establishment. We've got an election next year, and I worry what we're going to end up with instead of what we've got now. It's, something very big, something very seismic needs to change in this country. That is for absolute sure. And it's parties like that and people like Noel who will start sending a message to people who are going to say, enough, we've had enough, we don't want any more. What more can I say? We just have to keep getting the word out and keep pushing it. Carol Riley, hello to you. Good to see you. I saw Richard popped up and said that Carol said hello. So good to see you in the chat there. Hope you are well. Now, I want to go through some of the comments and then we'll move on to the next topic of conversation, which I saw somebody mentioned. Now, Maya Tusi put on a video. There is now an IS party in Britain. Yes, I did see that. I also saw that on Twitter the other day as well, and somebody did a screen dump of the Electoral Commission. It's not a falsehood. It really is there, and very, very concerning indeed. You read their manifesto, mission statement thing, and I think, how can this be allowed to happen? I agree that, political parties, if they have a thing, should be allowed to. But no, this isn't. I mean, you look in London, I saw a horrific image of thousands. It looked like thousands, or, I thought, oh my God, where are we? Are we completely lost? It's a frightening thing. It really is. Anthony P, hello. Hope everyone is doing well. Big news, Boris to join GB News. Yes, that is big news indeed. Now, I'm bringing out a video tomorrow about this, and I'll tell you what I think. That's the thumbnail for the video. Is it a good idea or isn't it? Now, leave your comments and tell me what you think about Boris being on GB News. I have my own points to say about that. I'm not overly sure what direction that's going. It's not only Boris. There seems to be an awful lot of Tory politicians seem to be inhabiting the annals of GB News. And I think, is it the same thing that really it started out being? I suppose Andrew Neil would be thinking, what have you done to my baby? But yeah, not great. Gary Thornbury, where I live, Iran said that it was activating its T cells. I'll say that here a few days ago, but they never showed up. Life does have disappointment. There's an awful lot of propaganda, isn't there? And an awful lot of scary, let's frighten everybody. And we certainly have to jump through the wheat from the chaff, so to speak. Let's have another couple. Is the UK now on a alert? Well, I think we always seem to be in some kind of state of alert, don't we? Designed to put the frighteners on us, designed to put us in our places. Quite what that is. I did actually see your comment before I came on this evening, and I thought, yeah, I'm going to have a quick look and see what I can find out. Nothing obvious, but there we go. Jody, please hit the like if you haven't already. Thank you very much. Well, we got 204 in. We've got 3 Facebook likes by the look of it. And if you haven't done so, please hit the like button. Thank you very much for joining me this evening. Andy the Gabby Cabby, appreciate your support. Good to see everybody. This is the chat we have on the Sunday, 9 o'clock every week. And we obviously have the content throughout the week as well on various news subjects, which I do for you Monday through to Friday. So great. I appreciate each and every one of you and the support as well. It really does mean a lot. Will we believe anything Boris says, Chris? This is the whole thing, isn't it? It's a propaganda piece. What the hell is going on? I might watch a couple of shows of it and see what it's all about. But yeah, Mick, I won't be watching him. In fact, I might even unsubscribe from GB. I personally think it's a mistake. You'll see more of my thoughts tomorrow in the video that I bring out, so I'm not going to go down that road too much. But there's an awful lot of comment I see, like the one Mick has just made. So proof will be in the pudding, won't it? We'll see what happens. Have you heard apparently we're not allowed to say Christmas anymore? It's now festive to avoid upsetting some people. Festive bollocks. Christmas. Happy Christmas. And every Christmas is here ever after. That's all I will say to that. Like I say, what is happening to this country, really? It's frightening. I brought people back from Tenerife for the last few days, and I think I might bugger off over there and hide. Do my lives from the beach or something. You never know. Lord Stiff Upper Lip. Sad to hear about Matthew Perry today. Awful. I actually learnt about Matthew Perry in the early hours of the morning. I was up at Gatwick. Must have been, well, 1:30, because it was funny. My flight landed at 1:30. Yeah, I left Gatwick at 1:30 because the clocks went back. But I heard about it in the early hours. And I went to text my wife because she was a very big Friends fan. And then I thought, I better not, because she'll be asleep. And then what happens? I get a text from her telling me Matthew Perry died. But very, very sad, you know, the way it happened. I'm sure we will, you know, find out more in the coming days. Not that it's anybody's business, but he had troubles, didn't he? You know, mental health battles and everything else. It's a very, very important subject. Many years ago, I had my own demons I had to deal with, and other people do. And people with their demons need support. They don't need kicking down and ganged up on and made to feel like they're nothing. They need all the support and the love they can get. That's the main thing. And whatever happened to Matthew Perry, obviously we know where he was found. Very, very tragic. And I feel for him, his family, his loved ones, and his friends. Really bad. Michael, yes, I'm well aware of that. I was aware of it at the time. And, you know, we all know what we all feel about that particular subject. It's not good, not good. Anyway, I want to have a bit of fun for a couple of minutes. Where are we? Let's see what the comments are doing. Now, I put a couple of pictures out on my social media earlier. when I was at Gatwick, and I was brought out my box. The first one was this, my breakfast. Now, I thought it was nothing short of delicious. It was at Tesco's at Hawley, just round the corner from Gatwick. Cost me £8.50 with a cup of tea, and I scoffed a lot. Now, I saw a lot of comments about what I should get rid of and what I should leave on the plate. And I saw stuff like black pudding. I saw eggs weren't cooked enough. Well, I like soggy eggs. Sorry about that. And some other weird and wonderful things. Now, what do you think of that breakfast? I'll put that back on the screen again. Is that your ideal one, or what? What would you put with that, and what would you take out? You tell me. Looks delicious. I saw that pick handy. Looks good, lovely. I like my eggs flipped. Yeah, what do they call that? That's sunny side up in the picture, and we got easy over, haven't we? That's the flip ones. People keep saying black pudding. I cannot stand black pudding. I never have done. I tried it once, and it was absolutely disgusting. Nigel the handyman, yummy as it is. Knowing your location as I do, Nigel, you probably had some. Barbara Jackson, I don't like beans or hash browns like the rest. I would remove the hash browns and put black pudding and kidneys. Scrambled eggs, lovely breakfast. A couple of small changes there, isn't it? But bubble and squeak, there's one. I've had that for a long time. Mushrooms, yes, I should. She actually said to me, "Do you want any? Do you want any extras?" And I said, "No, I'm all right, actually." And everybody that saw that today said should have put mushrooms with it. Only real men eat black pudding. Laugh out. I must be a pretend man for that. Yes. There's a friend of mine, Steve, his name is. He drives taxis as well. Richard Riley, less hash browns, Carol just said. There's another one that don't like their hash browns. I love hash browns, and they put 3 on that one. Tomatoes, fried bread. Depending on who you get there, they'll either just put toast on your plate or they'll offer you fried bread. It all depends. Canadian bacon, remove the beans, they have sugar in. That promotes the big C. Ooh, I didn't actually realise that. Practically vegan, amazing looking breakfast. Well, there we go. There we go. Well, that's enough. Otherwise, I'm getting hungry and it's too late. It's too late for that. What did Mick say? Where is he? How about a loaf of bread to dip the bean juice up? Oh, yeah. Do you like the bread and dripping? Not bread. We used to have dinner around my dad's house, and there'd be lashings of gravy. I'm sure it's bread and dripping or something like that. Loaf of white bread, slop, soak it all up and eat. Oh, my God, it's delicious. Fried spam instead of bacon. Bacon isn't bacon these days. That's true, Tony. That is very true. It's a bit questionable, some of it, isn't it? Marmite on toast. When I started back in 1980, another plumber used to have a steak and kidney pie as well. Oh, I never used to like steak and kidney pies, actually, until I was introduced to them. Another funny that I had today. Let's get rid of this one. I was sent this in the post, and I've seen some rather questionable things online over the last couple of days, and I thought I'd show you what I thought about it. Anti-bullshit spray. I never knew there was such a thing. And if you spray it in the car, it's actually quite nice. Who knew? Anti-bullshit spray could do something like that. I don't know if anyone's ever used that before, but that was kind of cool. Right. Anyway, let's have a look at the next thing. I've received some emails that I want to go through. A couple of emails. Brown sauce and beef. Yeah, I had brown sauce. Someone said brown sauce and pepper, and I put both of them on after I took the picture. But yeah, I don't know whether you can get the bullshit spray. Somebody told me I should put it all over the BBC, but you know, who knows? Mucky fat on bread. Right, let's have a look at these emails. Right, the first one. Gas bill. Right. Now, what caused this email? I put a video out 2 days ago, come out on Friday, and it was in the news about a couple that ended up being billed for 18 years worth of gas. It was about 11 grand. And according to the news, they didn't even know who their provider was for a lot of their time. I think it's all been sorted out in the end, but I thought That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. Somebody sent me this. Hi, Andy. Just watched your video about a couple who received a bill for gas for 18 years worth of supply. Did you know that if the energy company failed to bill the customer, the law limits the amount they can bill to 1 year? I've successfully challenged a company who wouldn't respond to my letters and in phone calls just demanded I provide my full bank details. A lot of them are doing this, aren't they? They're just ignoring you and cajoling you, hoping that you'll give in and you don't know the law or anything of that nature. It applies to just about anything, really. I mean, I've got this recent thing where I had a company trying to take me to court because of parking fees, which I don't know because I wasn't parked. They issued proceedings against me. And I said, well, put up or shut up. And they couldn't put up, so they had to shut up. It always goes that far. I read about that, Andy. Sounds a bit odd, Blue Angel said. Yeah, it did. It did. Now, what I'm finding lately with the media and the news, with some of the stuff I'm involved in the background, things get a little bit twisted. They're not quite always true. So maybe we have to be careful with that story. But I wanted to see what your opinion was on it. Right, the next one. I received this one. Hi, Andy. As a keen follower, I know your views on smart meters. Well, I think pretty much everybody does. I've received an email from my water supplier, Anglian Water, imposing that my meter will be upgraded to a smart meter. Apart from their bragging that it's for the better good, I'm sure there's a hidden agenda. There doesn't seem to be a cop-out option like electric or gas. Quick check on Google reveals this will be enforced throughout. With other water providers, this can only be further loss of our liberty. Link to Anglian Water website. So, all right, I had a look, and I'll bring up that site so we can have a look together. Now, there's a lot of this going on, isn't there, where people perceive it as a loss of our liberties, and it really is, well, disgraceful. But we'll have a look what they've got to say. You know, when you're talking about privatisation and leaks everywhere, there's a video I did not so long ago where there was a couple complained about a literal river flowing down the street next to their house, and it was like it for months, and the water people didn't do anything about it. Now, if we go full screen, and we got it's time for an upgrade. Okay. Because we're the driest region in the UK, we know every drop of water is precious. We have the tools to save it, but we need your help to make it happen. Together, we really can love every drop. We're giving your meter an upgrade. What happens next? We'll be in your area in the next few weeks to swap your meter for a smart meter, and we'll pop a card through your door when we're done. Once it's installed, your new meter will send us hourly meter readings, so we can let you know if we think you have a leak at home. Afterwards, we'll need to do some checks to make sure it's working correctly, and we can see the meter readings it's sending us. We'll let you know when we're activating your meter, and you can see your smart meter readings in my account. We'll aim to do this within 3 weeks of fitting your new meter, but we'll keep you posted. After we've activated, it'll be easy to keep track of your usage. Our customer privacy notice has more information about the data we collect. And it seems like there is a compulsion to do this, doesn't there? And like the person said, there isn't really a cop-out. Now, who's heard of smart meters for water? Who has? You tell me. Yeah, Butts Unplugged. I just saw that. It feels like people are being forced into it. Well, I've seen documentation about legislation that, well, effectively is forcing you into it. Eventually, they will try it on with everybody. What's this one? My electric meter goes in reverse. It's got solar. Love it. That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Blue Angel, never heard of it. I can't even repair the leaks of the water mains. Nottingham Paul says, absolutely, that's my argument. Chris Card, resist, you sheep. Yes. That amazes me in this country that not as many people are resisting that should be. It's crazy. Carlos Frumpy, who will own nothing and be happy, total control, and they'll switch people off, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff around about that as well lately. There really is. What's this? Julie Baldwin, Yorkshire Water are only fitting smart meters to new builds if anyone requests a meter. I've been in this house 10 years, right? And I had a blazing row with the water board when I moved in. I had, at the time, there was me, my wife, a 9-year-old boy who's now 19, and my young son, Jack, who was, 6 months old when we moved in here. Between us, our water consumption was sod all, really. And what they wanted to charge us was astronomical. And I said to them at the time, £50 a month, that's all you're getting. They negotiated me to £67.50. And now, even now, with everything that's going on in the world, I'm over 400 quid in credit. So what are we? We're not dirty bastards. We shower every day. We wash and everything else. So where's all this estimate coming from? I think we need to be very careful with what they're telling us and what the actual reality is. And I suppose it goes for gas and electricity as well, doesn't it? Anyway, let's have a look at another couple of these comments and we'll move on to another thing I want to talk about. Let's just see. Right, I've loaded that up, so that's okay. Right. Mark and Janice. Hello, Mark and Janice. Good to see you. Andy asks Noel if he is a happy disruptor who is a thorn in the side for Khan. Noel is very professional throughout. There's a job to do and he wants to get it done. Sometimes you have to take your personal feelings and lock them in a box when there's important business to be done, and that is very much the jibe and that's very much the feel. But yes, I'm sure there is a thorn in the side somewhere. Anna Perkins, talking of reclaim, did you see Lawrence Fox climbing on statues and removing offensive signs and flags? Yeah, I did. Let me see if I can pull that up. Give me a second. Let me just delve into the realms of X. I saw it. It was get off up. Oh, here we go. Straight away. I'm going to play the raw footage because some lefty what's-its just had a go about it. So let's roll this back. There we go. So I'm going to mute the sound because I don't want any language or anything to come up algorithm-wise that could cheese off YouTube. But it was basically get off our monuments. And you can see him quite clearly there, removing stuff, getting up, chucking it all down. I think it's something like a 40-second clip. And, there was a stage put up against a cenotaph. Was it last week or something like that? You don't desecrate and denigrate monuments to our sacred dead. It's you just don't go there. I appreciate what's going on in the world and everything right now, but it's very, very sad, all of it, especially what's going on. What do you think of this? Do you think Lawrence Fox was within his rights to do this? Give me a 1 in the chat if you do, or give me a 2 if you think he overstepped the mark. I actually think absolutely. Yeah, blood nose, 1. Who else have we got? You're all ones, yeah, absolutely, and I'm not surprised at all. Somebody has to draw the line somewhere. And I do wonder if the police were around, would he have got himself nicked? That wouldn't have surprised me in the slightest, the way the world is going at the moment. And you're all in agreement, totally, all proper British people, that you know, want the best for our country at the end of the day. They want the best for our country. Uh, I want to give a couple of shout outs to a couple of YouTubers while I'm here. First one I want to mention is Paz. He did a video, I think it was yesterday. I'm losing track of the days now, so bear with me, where he felt the need to defend his military service against someone who was trying to imply that Paz was saying that he wasn't ever in the military. Now, somebody that goes around wearing uniforms falsely and false medals and claiming deeds that aren't necessarily deeds they have done are known as a Walter Mitty. I've got no time for Walter Mitties. I think they're a disgrace. They're disgusting, and they denigrate the honour, sacrifice, and duty of anyone that's ever worn a uniform or served on active duty or in a combat zone. And I think it's disgusting that the individual involved and put Paz in a position where he felt he had to defend himself like that. I think the person that caused this should shut up, get on with their own business, and let everyone get on with theirs. It's disgraceful. I think Paz handled that quite well. He deserves and needs the support. If you subscribe to him, go say hi. If you're not subscribed to him, go and subscribe to him and say hi. He's a good bloke, and I talk to him in the background. He's great. Another one, couple of comments here. I'm sick of these people desecrating our monuments. Absolutely, me too. Nigel the handyman, everyone that does right is wrong. Everyone that does wrong is right. Absolutely. Yeah, I have quite a long military history in my family, going back about 3 generations at least that I know of. And when I see stuff like this, it really sticks in my throat, especially when there's inaccuracies and false allegations thrown around and all that sort of thing. It's absolutely disgraceful. People have a past, people served, and they shouldn't have to justify themselves to anyone. It's not good. The next one I want to talk about, and I don't talk about him enough, is Clown World, who's a friend of mine on YouTube. I did a live stream with him months ago now, and he's a nice bloke. Again, somebody that's very concerned with our country and what's going on. And he was also very helpful to me in the background, giving me some tips and bits and pieces about the workings of YouTube. Great stuff. Go look him up. Simon Webb, thank you very much, and hello to you. Good to see you. The other one I want to shout out, and I did at the beginning, is Ryan Yard. Ryan Yard Music, formerly known as Sanity Checkers. He's relaunching himself and concentrating purely on his music. Go and look him up and show him your support. Very talented guy. And the last one I mention, or want to mention, is Absolutely Average. Russ, he's been another veteran that's been the butt of a load of bullshit. And I'm sick of sitting here watching it. And, this goes back to the mental health issues that I mentioned earlier. It can affect people very much when they're ganged up on and made to feel incy. So these people just need all the support they can, all the support in the world. Russ is another one that's been a good friend to me behind the scenes. Great guy, very kind, very attentive. And, I'd do anything to help him if I could. That's the great thing with YouTube, with YouTubers. You get your own little clique, you stick together and you watch out for each other. And if I can, help give anyone a leg up or anything like that, then I certainly will. I mean, last week was another example. Bridget, BCTV, a videographer with different opinions. I will get her name right. She was sent a lovely gift by Retro on his bikes, which is, it was great, really great. So, that's another example of YouTubers doing right by each other. And that's what I love to see. So that's my shout outs. Anyway, let's have another look at some of these comments that we've got. And then I'll go on to the other thing that I want to talk about. Comments. You've got to find the right buttons to push in here. We've got 267 in the chat, and it's good to see everybody here. Thank you very much for your support coming along to see me on a Sunday. If you haven't done so already, give it a thumbs up. Let's see if we can do 2 ton on the likes. That's always great if we can get that far. If you are a new watcher, please consider subscribing to Andy the Gabby Cabby, free to do. And again, it helps the channel grow. Very much appreciated. Obviously, interact, share the content where you feel appropriate. Now, let's have a look. Andrew, pretty quick. That's a bit like my name and yours, mishmash, isn't it? Nationalised gas electric under a whole new government. Serious nutcases in government now, not silly, daft, but bad. It harks back to the old days, doesn't it? I mean, I grew up in the 80s and the 90s. I was born in the 70s, but really grew up in the 80s and 90s. I remember the rates. You just paid an amount, and that was it. Job done. And then you've got all this privatisation and all the other crap. It just leaves a bad smell, doesn't it? It really does. But yeah, I agree with you. Lee Foster, the government are going to make everyone's house have a smart meter, even if you own your own house. Yes, I have seen legislation or a white paper on this where there are different stages of trying to ease people into it. Compliance, I suppose, is the word. Ultimately, it will be having one whether you like it or not. Got to see that stick, really have. Carl, just an update for you regarding my smart meter letter, threatening me with a 30 quid fine if I did not keep my British Gas appointment made without permission. I was not fined. It's all lies. You emailed that to me, didn't you, Carl? I remember covering that a little while ago. Julie, it sounds as though he's not going to be on set. Apparently, he will be speaking from the... Oh, that says it all, doesn't it? But again, have a look at my video tomorrow. Let me know your opinions in that. Pocket Film, have you heard trunk roads are supposed to be excluded from road charging in law? No, I didn't know that, actually. I didn't know that. Somebody said to me earlier on today, is the M25 included in the ULEZ? I thought, no, it bloody isn't. Yeah, you can imagine, couldn't you? You really could. Tony Whitworth, good to see you. 23rd of the 10th, 23. Smirking police officer jailed after grooming girls on St. Louis. I heard about that. Disgraceful. I don't think jail's enough for people like that because they get out and they get out far too soon. They're put in a place in the community, sometimes with a new identity, and too near places which are vulnerable. And it's, don't work. Anna Perry, just say no. Absolutely. I think more people should. John McCarthy, laugh out loud. Is that what the blonde copper was spraying in the news twice in a month? She's got to be fine. Is that the anti-bullshit or the pepper spray, John? I know the one you mean, though. She's been in the news a couple of times, hasn't she? She nicked somebody for calling her, well, a dyke, for want of a better word, didn't she? I mean, oh God, I ask you. I mean, Tony, Pakistan is expelling millions of refugees due to them being disproportionately involved in their country. The Sunak government is now bringing it. Yes, I did see that. That was in the news the other day, wasn't it? They were arriving here. We're importing all sorts from everywhere, aren't we? And that last comment about the police officer, I mean, that's another thing that sticks in my gnaw. We all have our, hi, Mum, good to see you. And I'll see you tomorrow to pick up my new toy from your house. Yeah, that's another thing that sticks in my gnaw, the police. We all have our opinions of the police, good and bad. My father was a police officer for 22 and a half years, and he spent 9.5 years as a military policeman before that. So you might as well say he was a copper for 30 years. And old school, the kind that was out on the beat, did the job, serve, protect, by any means necessary. And you know, a lot of the stuff that's happening now, or not happening as the case may be, his generation was warning about it donkeys years ago. And now look where we are. It's crazy, crazy. Couple of more comments. We'll have a look at the last thing I want to talk about and then finish up with some more comments after that. Ralph Ryder, there are 4 languages in the British Isle. I can understand them all, but this new one is called pronouns. Never learnt it in school. Should we learn it now? I say that drives me up the bloody wall. It really does. I had an email from a customer the other day, and on the bottom of the email, it said, my pronouns are, yet their name was female. I thought, I don't need to know, you're doing business with me. I'm taking you to the airport. I don't give a fuck what you do in your personal time. It just doesn't matter to me. Drives me mad. Andy, hello, good to see you. Why is the right-wing people are nice and kind and the left-wing are nasty people? I'll tell you what, that's a very valid point. Whenever I've tried to engage with or, talk to somebody on the other side of the political fence, as soon as you press their opinions or their mindset or the way they are, they will start offending you. You're a stop. As soon as that happens, my interest is lost. I just want a polite, proper comment. I know a couple of left-leaners you could sit down and talk to all day long, and there's no problem. No problem at all. But others, they're downright offensive. But the hypocritical thing is, they say it's us. It don't make any sense, does it? Don't make any sense. Right, I want to move on to one of the things I want to talk about. It's based on another email I received. I'll pull this up on the screen. There we go. Hi, Andy. I'm currently 24/7 caregiver for my parents with dementia, full-time since lockdown. I had to move in with to provide care. The council have applied empty property, 400% premium. I've sent a number of emails to heads of council and 13A officers. They constantly want further information, proof, etc. Any help would be appreciated. There's lots and lots of situations where 15 more likes to reach 200. Come on, folks. We got 283 in the chat. Let's get 2 ton on the likes. There's lots and lots of situations where people fall behind on their council tax for one thing or another. We all have our own situations, our own living arrangements. And, like me, I work, I've got the kids and my wife. I've got a friend who's on his own in a flat with certain, disabilities, I'd say. You've got pension. It's endless. And they demand and demand and demand and demand. And what the hell are we getting for our money? Richard Vobes did a good video the other day on the subject of council tax. And if you actually go onto something like Companies House and type in your council's name, you'll find it's not a council at all. It's a registered business. So then you have to ask, where the hell's the contract that I agreed to with this business? And that goes into a whole other realm, which, people like Black Belt Barrister would probably come out and tell me I'm a naughty boy for even mentioning that sort of thing. But it is, rightly or wrongly, a very big debate that's absolutely raging, isn't it? Now, I tried to help people with this as much as I could based on my own life experiences, based on what I know works. And I got constantly, you're a taxi driver, don't give legal advice. You're absolutely right. I am a taxi driver and I shouldn't be giving legal advice. Particularly, I'm not a lawyer and I'm not a financial advisor. I just know what works. So all I will do is point you in the right direction. Now, obviously, you've got all the advice bureaus and everything else, but there's a site that I like to refer to, and they have template letters and everything else. It's called Beat the Bailiffs. They have a Facebook group, and they also have a Google hosted page as well. Now, this one is only deal with the council for council tax, because they start threatening you with bailiffs and all this sort of thing. They have a very, very rigid set of procedures and protocols that they insist on going down, trying to, say to you, tough shit, you're going to pay this, you're going to do that, you're going to do the other. And it's not always necessarily the right way. If you push, then they will cooperate eventually. You need to show them that you know the law. Now, there's a couple of categories here. Let me see if I can pull this down. And this is very informative, and they give you template letters with all of it. You've got vulnerable person notification. If you're a vulnerable person, and that means somebody with a mental disability, a physical disability, if there's children in the property, or any other category of vulnerable person, it's really quite unlawful to levy distress on somebody that's got that classification of person in there. There's a friend of mine which has had all sorts of council issues, and they've got both physical and mental disabilities. And I took him to task on that, and they got off his case. There's Section 13A, which is Section 13A of the Local Government Finance Act, allows the council a certain amount of discretion with regard to reducing or writing off previous balances or negotiating with you to reduce what you owe. But they do ask for a lot of proof now. They do ask for an awful lot of proof. They've kind of got the hump with people knowing about these things, so they're making it a bit more difficult. That's the impression I get. Another thing, I don't know if Bloodnose can put the link to this page in the chat so people can get hold of it. But the other thing that really people need to know is a Section 151 officer. And every council's got one, and that is the chief financial officer of a council. And, again, they have certain amounts of leeway. And on this site, there is information there, and there's a big database of all of the Section 151 officers for all of the councils. So it is all on there. There are other things that this Beat the Bailiffs site can help you with as well. They can help you with parking tickets. They can help you with credit card debts. They can help you with loan debts that have all been passed on to debt collectors and are in various stages of enforcement. I know this stuff is good because I've used a lot of it to great effect myself. And it's absolutely marvelous stuff. And I think the group has been infiltrated by people in certain establishments because they seem to be a bit more aware of what's going on. Bipedal species, good stream. Thank you very much. Got to go. See Dagestan airport stormed. Okay. All right. Thank you very much for coming along. I appreciate it. Good to see you. So, yes, Beat the Bailiffs. If you missed the link that Bloodnose put in, Google it. It comes up very highly up at the top. Now, I'm getting a bit of a throat, so I just want to grab something. Give me a second. Oh, come on. That's too big. Cheers, everybody. It's the only thing I could get to hand to wet me whistle. Now that's Richie. Council tax should be variable based on income and what services you don't use. I'll tell you what, there was a guy that I know who didn't pay his council tax for a long time, and they got on the phone, and he said, "Well, I don't need the fire brigade. I don't need the police. I sort my own rubbish out. So why have I got to pay you lot?" Valid point. Not having any of it. They weren't. But you do wonder what we are paying, don't you? Boomer, yes. Impersonating courts. I'll tell you what, Boomer, I had to read that twice because I thought you were saying something else entirely different that ends with C and ends with TS. I'll leave that to your imagination. All right, let's have a look at some more of these comments. Maya Tusi bravely covers the current thing at a risk to his own health and welfare. It's crazy that one man's views can make you a target market. Absolutely. I understand that he's actually received threats to his own safety, and he should not be out in the streets doing that, in my opinion. He's putting himself in great peril. You know, I appreciate what he's doing. I'm sure everybody appreciates what he's doing. And a shout out to my 2-seat. I think he's very brave getting out there and mixing with it and showing us what's really going on. And it's a bit of a shit show, isn't it? It really is. Michael Edwards, I'm glad I am the age I am. These young people don't know what a terrible life they're going to have. It's the next generation, isn't it? I totally feel for them as well. And you've got to think, who sorts this out? Do they or do we? Or is nature going to take its course? Very frightening thing to think about that, isn't it? Definitely. Kevin Grant, I'm going to have another sip of this. It's very nice. Nobody have a go at me about this. This is Heineken. It's just the first thing I could get my hands on before my voice went. Kevin Grant, since NHS conception, expenditure on average 3% above inflation, 13 years. Conservative 1.5%. Typical Conservative bring NHS to its knees, sell it off to its friends. Kevin, I had somebody in the NHS, a close family member, and, you know, the rot has been setting in for years. Some of the horror stories I've been told. I mean, there's a couple of medical things going on in my family at the moment. I mean, one of them is with me. I don't know if you've ever noticed. I mean, people say about my weight, but one of my shoulders is ever so slightly dropped than the other one. And the reason is I did something to my shoulder ages ago. I've had scans. And when I first did it, I was in an awful lot of pain, which thankfully I'm not now. But I don't have the strength in this arm that I have in this arm. So something's gone wrong and it needs sorting out. I've been waiting months. I've got a phone consultation on Monday, tomorrow, about it, where I'll finally find out what they've seen in there. And more importantly, what they can do about it. I've got a friend of mine. Yeah, I agree with you, Michael. NHS is top heavy, has been for years, and that's where a lot of their money's going. Yeah, I've got a friend of mine who goes to the same organisation I do, and his back's absolutely fucked. And he's got to have a lot of stuff done. Again, got to wait a while. Yeah, and I think it may be a trapped nerve. They said it might fix itself before I'm seen, but who knows? Pete, I could tell you a few things about the NHS, having spent 9 years in hospitals and 60 plus operations. I bet you could. If you got any stories to tell, Pete, you want to get them out there and you don't mind publicising anything, let me know privately and maybe we can expose a few truths. My dad served in Palestine in 1948 and there were some things that he never got over. He never talked about. And it wasn't until after he passed away that Mum told me. But if the current television coverage is anything to go by, how, you know, things are getting absolutely hammered out there, it's horrific, isn't it? I mean, is that an element of PTSD? That's something a lot of veterans have to deal with. I mean, a member of my family, who I mentioned earlier on in the stream, served in Northern Ireland in the early 70s, where things were getting quite bad. And it was only years later that, you know, it was spoken about, really, to any degree that you could do something about. It's funny how the mind works with such things, isn't it? And how your character and the way you are can be influenced. Thomas, I tried to send a super chat to raise this tidbit, but it kept failing. The emissions tech pushed on cars today, GPF, DPF is leading to vehicle fires as well as increasing repairs cost. Absolutely. Thomas, I appreciate the effort to try and send me a super chat. I have no idea why it fails. Where I've sent super chats to people, I think you've got the option of PayPal or a credit card. I don't know. I really don't know why that would have failed, but thank you. I do appreciate the thought. Tony Whitworth, scientific fact. Dogs get more information from sniffing another dog's ass than humans do from watching the people. I'm going to archive that. That's brilliant, Tony. I love it. I really love it. I wonder if the BBC fact checkers will pick up on that. We'll have to send it to them and see what happens. Richard, mini-sized van, a can of WD-40 fits nicely in purse pocket. Legal right to carry. Maximum damage if sprayed. In fact, keys is another thing. Between the knuckles. And somebody, if you're gonna always do it with those two. Don't do it with all of these, because all of this collapses. Always these two. Trust me on that. Stink Pooter. Saw a sign outside the toilets in our local pub. Gents to the left, women always right. Well, my wife's inside, out of earshot. Shall I let you know about that one? Mind you, she probably watches this on replay before I know. Tony again. England, United Utilities have been ordered to add it to their water supply. It's not fluoride. It's yep. Do you get the water tasting funny every now and again? I certainly do, and you do wonder. You do wonder. Ralph Ryder, Andy, when you get older, it'll start clicking and will go nub on you like a trapped nerve. Then you know it had it. Yeah, the only thing I can think, I had a bad car accident 3 years ago on my way home from dropping people off to the airport. And it was a rotational kind of thing where the impact was. The car went like that. And I kind of really badly twisted. I had to have a load of physio on this shoulder. And I do wonder whether there might be some weakness there that's been aggravated. But we will see. We will see. Just had a hip replacement after 3 years. But the hop's done my follow-ups has been cancelled. It's like, just get a... Yeah, they either work or they don't end things. It's one of them, isn't it? Awful, though. And the pain you can get left in. Tony Whitworth, head of BBC fact checker, lied on her app. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that very well. That was very ironic. I mean, with the hip replacements, as a friend of mine passed away last year, and I've mentioned it on here, cut me out quite bad, to be quite honest. And he had a bad fall towards the end of his life, and broke his hip, and they weren't going to replace it. Crazy. They were not going to replace it because of his condition. They did in the end, or did just enough to get him out of pain. But awful state. Awful state. Andy, have you seen any news? People are fearing EVs now due to the fear. Not surprised, Chris. I mean, the biggest thing, or the most advertised thing lately, seems to be Luton, doesn't it? And I think there's more to that story than meets the eye. I've put stuff out that I've come across and gleaned in the news, but I don't believe it's the whole truth any more than anybody else does. I don't know what you think. Dave, have you noticed? Yes, very much. Very much. I mean, old Vlad comes up every now and again, interfering, so to speak, with our narrative, everything else, but it's not like it was. Not like it was at all. Chris, yeah, I'm aware of that. I mean, I get a form through every year asking for my consent for mine to have it. It's literally had up the snout, and I had some very heavy questions to ask this time round. I wasn't happy at all. Really not happy at all. Now, this is a final couple of comments here, and we'll just finish up proceedings. In 1976, I broke my neck, but the NHS fixed me. It's not... That's good, Terry. I mean, not everybody's lucky, are they, when that happens? That's great to hear. Dave, loads of countries are waking up. Just officially ended all military aid. Yeah. All of the stuff that's been going around social media where people have already woken up and we've all been called conspiracy nut jobs and all the rest of it. Now look what's happening. every single time. It happens, doesn't it? Crazy. Right. We come to the end, folks. A couple of things just to tell you about. I don't know if you've noticed today or this afternoon that the image, me, has been a lot clearer and a lot more focused. Now, the reason for that is I've upgraded the camera that I use for my lives and my videos and everything else in preparation for another change. I thought, you know, this business of YouTubing, you just upgrade as you go along. And I thought, I want something better. So I went and did it and got a new camera. And the other thing as well, above my head, there's a green screen, which it's like an old projector thing. You can just pull down behind me. And the idea being, where we've got it at the moment, with the garage and everything, the way it's set up, we want to be able to move things around and change things in here. And as it so happens, I'm out here recording all the time. So thank you, Chris. Appreciate that. So what I've done, I've installed this green screen and I've already reproduced this entire background and basically pull the green screen down and I can put this garage on that green screen. So nothing will ever change. Also, as well, I can put other stuff on there. So it gives me an awful lot of power and an awful lot of other options in here. So it'll be excellent. I'm waiting for another light to turn up, which will be here tomorrow. And then I can get that set up properly. Because the problem with green screens, when you sit there, they generate a lot of shadow all around the edges. And if you've got shadow, you'll see that as haziness when you put the image on. So what you need to do is shine a lot of light on it to get rid of that shadow. And once that's done, it'll be sweet. I've got a light here and I've got a light up in the ceiling, but it's not good. Not good. But yeah, those are the changes. Tomorrow, you will see videos coming out from 8 o'clock. They're all recorded. I did them yesterday for you. And there'll be 4 videos coming out, and I'll do the same every time as well. Hope the Sainsbury's carrier bag is back. I might have to do something about that. I might give it a flash every now and again. People miss my Sainsbury's carrier bag, don't they? Great. Right. Thank you very much, everybody, for this evening. I've got nothing else to add, nothing else to say. I appreciate all your comments. I appreciate all of you. Covered everything I wanted to add. Don't forget, next week, Sunday, there'll be the live chat with Noel Wilcox at lunchtime. And I'll do an omnibus repeat edition of that at 9 in the evening as well. So that'll be cool. If you're new to watching this evening and you're still here, thank you very much. I appreciate you very much. Please subscribe if you haven't. It's free. Hit the like button if you haven't on the way out, because that will help the analytics and help push this little live of ours around. And I look forward to talking to you again real soon. So until next time, I bid you all toodaloo.